People are stupid, the whole Israel-Palestine thing, Nazi Germany, our military bases in Guantanamo. Factual reality speaks for itself every day, and human civilized complacency is always far behind. See nothing, know nothing, we're all innocent, and wonderful reality when the facts on the ground all around you. Turn on the TV, look at that bus that's all blacked out with all those people that are in there going somewhere. Don't this isn't conspiracy. This isn't a certain cultural belief or a certain specific group segregation issues. These are day-to-day society issues that are all over the world. The strong are always strong, the weak are always weak, and political parties are the definition of what a strong, educated, civilized person does. You can go around beating up people like gangbangers and shooting and stomping, or you can be a little more sophisticated about it. And so people get civilized and they make weapons and they make politics and they have a way to control these situations that they feel are important, that they want to control. It's called politics. And every time somebody, or a news thing or something shows wow, this is overwhelming. Oh, that can't possibly be happening. Of course it is. What are you missing? What, or you just get off the boat yesterday? Or that's a dumb story because any boat person knows damn well the atrocities of their own country. That's why they came here. That's what the term boat means, by the way. Get off the boat. In my town, we have fresh off the boat, which is not a racist term. It's a self-described mafioso Asian gangs. But who cares about them, right? They have their own issues. And, more power to them. Those are oppressed people that in their own country wouldn't be able to have a political regime. And basically, when you're in oppressed countries or communist countries, your only source of revolt was the only way to do anything that you want, because you're highly oppressed. And so people get criminalized by their very nature of will to be free and to create a society. When you live in a society that's already controlled and has strict regulations as to how you're going to be raised and born, in a lot of countries you're born into servitude. It's a simple fact of the matter. You have no choice or options in life. Your own personal cultural beliefs, when it doesn't matter what kind of box or square or white room that you're grown up in, you're going to have imagination. That imagination, you're going to see, whether it be a crack in the wall, you're going to imagine that has a future, and you're going to live inside of that crack in the wall. That little piece of dirt is going to be your reality. If all you ever known was clinical society, like test tube babies, you're still going to have thought. Sentient beings have been already created through cyber technology, and it's very controversial, and nanotechnology and all these things already exist, and people don't realize, the people that have morals, that there are people that take morals out of it, and science is not a moralistic issue. It's very advanced, and it's able to create many different realities that your common man has no concept of, because they're not science, or their understanding of that science is science fiction. It's beyond comprehension, because they live in a day-to-day mundane world. And so Nazis did a bunch of stuff to a bunch of people, and a bunch of people pretty much deny it. To simplify that, well, fuck the Nazis. Every country, everywhere, has done the exact same thing to their own people and or their enemies, and has also denied it. Whether you're an indigenous person attacking the other tribe and tying them down to an anthill and cutting their eyelids off. You think that indigenous people didn't create torture? Do you think Americans are the only torturous people we have? Cultures in every society that are sick and deviant, and that's how those cultures have became a culture and a society. Like I said, it takes the powerful take over the other weaker people, and they start creating regulations to control these groups. And when you have All societies have these situations, and all poor people know this, and all victims of all societies know this. All inmates in prisons, have been succumbed to different tests and, inoculants to protect them, that they have no choice. Those inoculants are those inmates are test tubes, and those prisons and facilities, whether it be mental facilities or long-term hospitals, are all testing grounds for all these people are test subjects, and we use controversial things that they're never going to know. They don't speak. Most of them have no voice. Whether they speak or not is not, where they have the ability for verbal is not. When you're in a cell and you speak up, and the guard will come in and kick your face in, that's physical reality in jail. You don't speak up. You don't have a nurse or facilities. You request these facilities. You request these situations, and hopefully over days, weeks, years of time, you might have the option to have these things, because yes, documented on paper, all inmates have medical ability, rights, etc. And in theory, the common person says, "Hey, I don't even have those same rights." Well, actually, you do. We can walk to the emergency room and we can have the exact same uncomfortable, not best case scenario, but technically it could happen. Well, technically, any inmate in a facility gets fed in bed and 3 meals a day and all that, but it's just not reality. And people are always doing atrocities around us right now. We're whoever we are, whatever country or person or culture or society that you represent, your own society within 50 miles of you is harboring people, is enslaving them, making them do work that they do not want to do, making people take medicines and drugs in controversial situations they do not want to do. You have a huge society full of mentally incapacitated people that are being taken care of, that therefore have been told legally they have no rights to make their own choices, and in theory people are doing the best by them. But really, in today's economy, when you get $3 to $5 a day or an hour, and you got 30 or 40 people you're supposed to take care of, your common nursing staff, they quit all the time. They can't take the moral and ethical atrocities that happen to the people that they're in charge of. And this is common, as much as any layman worker and all around the country, going what here in America we call postal is a day-to-day occurrence. People hammering children to death in China is, I guess, just how that person dealt with it. It was sick, but whatever. When you grow up in a chemical-induced society, drinking water, air, everything around you is it's so bad for you that you have mental problems. Chemicals in the air affect your mind. They're not just make you sick. You have a cold. You mentally go crazy, and you can have a variety of problems that can result just from being in a bad environment. I personally am homeless. I live in very extreme situations